Hey guys, I'm Richard Holdner and welcome to the channel. Today it's all about big block Chevys. We've got a cylinder head swap on a 496, both naturally aspirated and supercharged. Both good sets of heads. We have a set of Airflow Research 315 heads and an Airflow Research 345 heads. And I'm going to show you what the cylinder head swap did or didn't do, but more importantly, I'm going to tell you why the cylinder heads did or didn't do that. Okay guys, we got some really cool stuff here on a pair of Airflow Research heads that we tested on a 496 big block Chevy. We tested a set of CNC ported 315 heads and compared them to a set of CNC ported 345 heads, and not only are the results interesting, but why the results happen. That's really the big thing. So we're going to get into a lot of cool stuff here. So we've got a 496. It actually is a fairly low compression. It's about 8.5 to 1. It did have a solid roller cam in it. We ran it with the Airflow Research heads. We'll take a look at the rest of the stuff here. We ran it both naturally aspirated and supercharged, and I'm going to show you a comparison of both of those. And it's really good stuff. So we've got a 496. We ran an Edelbrock Victor Jr. intake manifold, the 454R, because these are rectangular port heads. We ran a 950 Holley carburetor. The camshaft that I ran on is the Comp Cams BR300-14. It is 652 lift, 255, 262 degree duration, and 114 degree lobe separation angle. We had roller rockers on this thing. We had 2 1/8 inch dyno headers. So it was a good combination and it made good power. And actually we had the Airflow Research 215 heads on it to begin with. And then we did a direct swap. Both of those heads had the same size chamber, so there was no change in static compression. As I said, between 8 1/4 and 8.5 to 1 low compression, because we were going to run a bunch of boost on this thing. So run in this manner with the 315 heads, our combination produced 652 horsepower and 578 foot-pounds. And here's what happened when we did the direct back-to-back swap between the 345 heads and the 315 heads, although it says 335, I think, on here because we mislabeled it. But here are the, and you can see, basically, there's no difference. These are essentially the same. This is the same kind of thing that you would get if you ran a test, you know, a run-to-run without changing the head. So we're saying they made the same peak power and the same peak torque with the 335 heads. So now we want to take a look at, I'm going to go ahead and put up the airflow data for both of these. And as we can see, if you take a look at the flow at the different lift values, you can see that the 345 head flows 409 CFM and the 315 head flows 387. So we have one that flows a good bit more, in fact 22 CFM more than the other. The question is, why doesn't it make more power? So we're going to get into why actually the bigger head and the more it certainly has more power potential didn't actually demonstrate it by making more power. Now that we take a look at what happened when we directly compared our 315 CNC ported heads from Airflow Research to the larger 345 heads, we need to figure out why this happened. So why did a cylinder head that offers more flow, why didn't it make more power? And actually the first thing that we need to look at is the camshaft, oddly enough. It's not the cylinder head. We know that the cylinder head, one flows more than the other. So if you had enough motor and you could take advantage of the extra airflow, one head that flows more could certainly make more power. But the reality is that this combination isn't taking advantage of what that head has to offer, and that's why they made the same power. If you take a look at our camshaft, our BR300 camshaft, it only has 650 lift. And that's very important because if we take a look at the flow data offered by the two cylinder heads, we see that one indeed flows more than the other. But the problem is it only flows more than the other. Most of the gains come at 700 and 800 lift. If you look at the lift values below that, from 0 to 600 lift, the difference is very, very small. In fact, at 600 lift, the bigger head only flows 5 more CFM than the other head. So that's why we didn't see a big difference. We have big gains in airflow, but they only happen at lift ranges that our camshaft never sees. So now the next reason that we're not seeing a big change in power is we have to look at the entire combination, not just the camshaft. Even if we had an 800 lift camshaft, the reality is that combination, our 496, would still not be able to take advantage of everything that the bigger head has to offer. It's just not enough motor. It's low compression. given the fact that it's a big block, it's very small in displacement. It's only a 496 and not a 596 or a 696. It has very low compression, small displacement. It doesn't have a tunnel ram. It doesn't have all of the things that it would really need to take advantage of a cylinder head that could make 800, 850, possibly even 900 horsepower if you really put a dedicated effort into utilizing everything that that head had to offer. In fact, we're not even using anywhere near all of the cylinder head or airflow that the 315 has to offer. So it's not a problem with the cylinder head nearly as much as it is with our combination not being able to utilize what either one of these cylinder heads has to offer. So I know you're thinking, well, Richard, you've already explained why the cylinder heads didn't make more power, why the bigger head that flows more didn't make more power. Seems fairly obvious. You have the camshaft, we're not even using what it has to offer. We've got a mild combination. We basically need more motor, but there's more to it than that. Yes, there's a lot more testing, and we ran this same combination, this same back-to-back cylinder head test on this same motor with a blower, with a Roots blower, and this was an 871 blower from the blower shop, and we ran it with two 950 Holley blower carburetors. We ran a variety of different pulleys, you know, to raise and lower the boost so we could do all that testing, but we ran a direct back-to-back test, or at least what I thought was a direct back-to-back test between the 315 head and the 345 head, and where we didn't see any kind of power change NA, we actually did see a power change when we ran it under boost. And I know what you're thinking, Richard, but you always tell us whatever happens NA also happens under boost. So why would there be a change from the bigger head? Does the boost, like the bigger head, can now the combination, because it's making more power with the blower, take advantage of what the bigger head has to offer? Actually, it's not that, and we're going to go over exactly what it is. But let's take a look. This was our combination with the 315 head. This combination made almost 900 horsepower. I'll go ahead and put the boost level up here. It was 800. In fact, we're going to talk about the boost curves. It was 899 horsepower, and peak torque was 763 foot-pounds. But here's what happened when we did our head swap and then put the blower back on, actually. So you can see, hey, the bigger head made more power. Not only did it make more power, but it made a good bit more power, as much as like as 834 there, up to 855. So, you know, 20-something horsepower. It showed good gains. But the interesting thing, and this is what I want you to look at, and this is what I want you to use your your sciencey detective mind here. If we saw a change in power from a cylinder head change, normally we see that where we see a rising increase, kind of where we see that the motor needs more airflow and the cylinder head gives it more airflow. So we see a greater gain at the top than we do at the bottom. This, in my analytical mind, if I was looking at this, I would say, hey, look, that's kind of railroad tracks. What that looks like to me is that there's a change in boost. So what happened to the boost on both these combinations? Let's take a look. Okay, guys, this is very interesting, and this is why I like going back and looking through all this data, because I find things, in this case, I find a mistake that I made, and this is something that I believed was true for more than a decade, maybe two, when I ran this test long ago, but we ran the 315 head versus the 335 head, and as I showed, we saw a difference in power, and I thought, okay, well, the bigger head, like the blower, and it made more power, and we come to a conclusion that was actually, in this case, inaccurate. And I'll show you why and what's going on here. So normally when we run a combination, this is the boost pressure curve supplied by the 871 blower on our modified 496 with the 315 head. We start out, you know, just under 6 pounds, 5.8, 5.9, and it goes up to, this looks like it's rising up very rapidly. We often see this on a Roots blower like this. At the end, the thing becomes less efficient. The boost starts going up, and this is what happened. But bear in mind that this is the difference of less than 1 pound. So while it looks like it's a big change, it's really not. If we were to put this on a different scale, this would look like next to nothing. This would be basically a flat curve. But this is the boost curve supplied when we ran the 315 hits. And this is what happened after we installed the 345 hits. We saw an increase. So the top one is the 345 head, and the bottom one is the 315 head. Here's what happens on blower motors. When we see a change in power, what normally happens is, and if we put these 345 heads on, they flow more, and if they did make more power like they did, what you would expect to see is actually a drop in boost. Because they flow more, the boost pressure goes down, the power goes up, that's all good. But in this case, we saw an increase in power because of the increase in boost. And that only happens for one reason. And after going back and looking through the data, I finally realized why that happened. And that's because it's fairly simple now. It's really an easy thing. The pulley ratio was different. What happened was we had a different pulley set up on the 345. It was about 2.5% underdriven on the 315 compared to the 345 head. And so the 315 head made less boost, the 345 made more boost, and it made more power. And we see exactly that. We see that the boost was up everywhere, and this is not something that would happen if we ran a direct back-to-back test with the same pulley ratios. I must have, when I'm doing these tests, we're doing lots and lots of tests and lots of changes, and I must have just misremembered or didn't grab the right data or whatever happened. And so for a long time I thought, wow, this happened. This is something that I never see. And in this case, it's actually something that I never see because this wasn't accurate. The 345 head made more power only because it had more boost because we were spinning the blower just a little bit faster than we were on the 315 head. So what we would expect to see and what I'm sure would happen, because we saw no difference NA, we would also see no difference under boost because neither one of these combinations are making enough power to take advantage of what these airflow research heads have to offer. Let's get to our conclusion. Okay, it's time once again to figure out what the takeaway from this video is, and really there are two things. The first thing is I actually like having a combination that has more cylinder head than we're taking advantage of, and that was definitely the case on this 496. It wasn't utilizing all of the 315 or certainly all of the bigger 345 head. It was only using a part of that. But actually, that's okay. If we take a look at the LS, is always the example that I use. If we have an LS 3-headed combination, that stock cylinder head will support way over 600 horsepower. So only if you're making 500 or 550 horsepower, that's still a good thing. We have an excess cylinder head flow. That means that we can reach any kind of power level with a much smaller camshaft. And that was the case on this 496. We had more cylinder head than we were utilizing because we didn't really have enough combination. And that's the next thing I want to talk about. The next thing is if we do a cylinder head test like this 315 versus 345, and the 345 doesn't add any power, it's not because the cylinder head doesn't work. It's actually our fault and not the fault of the cylinder head. And when I say our fault, I mean in this case, it's my fault. I didn't put together enough combination to utilize what either one of these cylinder heads had to offer, but certainly not the bigger 345 head. I didn't have enough camshaft lift. I didn't have enough displacement. I didn't have enough compression. I didn't have enough intake manifold. I basically didn't have enough combination to take advantage of what that head had to offer. I'm Richard Holder. Make sure to like, share, subscribe, ring the bell, do all that stuff. More and more testing